Yeah, I mean, like I've been saying, we've been playing well. And we're going to go as far as we can if we pitch. And the kid today, that was electric. 97, 98 with the sinker, the cutter, used the changeup well. He's grown so much, in the last three years, and now he's striking people out, controlling the running game. It was good. It was good to see, the ovation too. I told him, hey, be ready, enjoy it. He didn't want to come out of the game, but we needed to there. But for the fans to give him that ovation, it means a lot.
You have 10 in a row. You want to break it?
Yeah. I mean, it's good for everybody. Just, take care of your family, have fun, and then be ready for Friday.
On that note, how do you make sure the momentum doesn't stop?
I don't know, bro. Show up on Friday, I mean, there's nothing you can do. It's the All-Star break. You have to enjoy it. I will.
Cora, your baseball team is the reason we can start our week off right here on a Monday morning, July 14th. Welcome in to Boston Has Entered the Chat. Here inside our Salem 5 studio, Travis Thomas, George Balekji. Hey, everybody, we're going streaking! 10 in a row, baby! Woo!
Man, I cannot believe the mojo that they're on, the way the Red Sox are rolling. And it's all coming together. Starting pitching. That's Alex Cora talking about Brian Bayo and what he did. Another great start from him. 10 in a row. One game out from that lead wild card spot, who's held by the Yankees, by the way. Just 3 games out from the division. We'll get into all that, man. The Red Sox are rolling. The only thing I can complain about is they have to stop playing baseball. The rest is needed for the All-Star break. Just bring on the next teams. Cubs, Phillies, Dodgers next. Excited to see a matchup with them.
Murderers Row. We'll talk about that for sure. You know the best thing about this show? We're going from the baseball diamond to the pitch. We're talking a little football in the show. And then, George, from football to football, because training camp's right around the corner. We got all the business here on Boston Has Entered the Chat.
Exactly. Rhode Island FC manager Khano Smith will be joining us to talk his team. Trying to make a push at a playoff spot. 2 big matches coming up. And then we'll talk about all the rooks reporting Patriots training camp. That kicks off next Tuesday.
I cannot
Football's
wait,
back.
friend. By the way, remember, Boston Has Entered the Chat, 8 a.m. on NESN, 9 a.m. right here on NESN Nation. Roll with us. You can always call us, 617-790-0928. You can tweet at us using the hashtag NESN Chat. You can email us. I mean, we have every platform here to get at us, thechat@nesn.com. But let's talk about these Red Sox. Don't let them get hot. Too late they are. 10 in a row. You and I, tongue-in-cheek at one point last week, said, well, what if they sweep the Rays? And we go into the All-Star break, winners of 10 straight, and we just kind of said it joking around, and I'll be doggone. You look up, and here we are, hottest team in baseball, going into the All-Star break, George. I was in the building Friday night at Fenway, working with the Red Sox Foundation, and I was with the fans. I was on top of the monster, selling raffle tickets, talking, yucking it up. A lot of people trying to buy me beers, but I'm a professional, okay? I did say after the game, catch up with a brother. After the game, catch up with a brother. But it was so fun. It was a surreal moment for me, man, to be honest, to be there. And then Cedon, good night. Walk-off city. The next day, Crochet, untouchable. Pure filth out of him. Just crazy stuff from Crochet. Now he gets to rest at the break. Great. Let me say this about Crochet real quick. I'm grateful of a few things. I'm grateful he's going to rest during the All-Star break. I think that's huge for the second half of the season and a playoff push if we get one, right? The other thing I was thinking about, that contract now looks like such a bargain. And he got paid, don't get me wrong. But, George, if Garrett Crochet was to hit the free agent market after this season, he would get all the money in the world. All of it. This is a bargain at what the Red Sox have him for. I'm so thankful he is wrapped up and he's here for the future. And then yesterday, Cedon again, Bayo again. This team has it all working, brother.
It was them winning 4-3, 5-4, 1-0, then the final result on Sunday. And it's Garrett Crochet with the complete game, like topping off, heading into the All-Star break. #1 in Major League Baseball in innings pitched. #1 in Major League Baseball in strikeouts at 160. And his sub-2.5 ERA. He's been the best pitcher in baseball the first half of the season. It's Brian Bayo and his changeup. That one developing. Alex Cora pointed out, that's been his pitch against the left-handed batters. He now has a plan. He has a strategy, and he has confidence. That's always been a kid that has this stuff. once he has the confidence to match it, know he can dominate on the bump, that's what leads to him and Lucas Giolito. What they've been doing has been amazing. It's the depth of this lineup. And this weekend, it's the first time we've seen in the same lineup at certain points, Alex Bregman with Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer.
Bro. With
the raking Ceddanne Rafaela. With Jarren Duran, who's woken up. With this entire deep lineup all together with Carlos Narvaez just shoving and swinging and just putting the ball out like he has. Again, this is a complete team. It's 10 straight wins. It's being 8 games above 500, which is the highest this season.
Yes.
It's 3 games out from the lead in the division, and it's 1 game back from that top wild card spot.
That's right.
They are in the driver's seat. And I kept saying it. It was right after the Rafael Devers trade. We're saying, how do they respond? I said it has to be them on the field. If they win games, they can look up to the ownership box and look up to Craig Breslow and go, we are going to give you a reason to buy.
Right.
That's what they're doing right now. Craig Breslow has to buy. And it's also the guy stepping up, like an Abraham Toro, playing first and in a platoon where they don't need, it doesn't look like they need that first base bat anymore. If Toro and Co can get it done, they still need another relief pitcher. They need another starting pitcher. They do need a big bat. But it's the guys that they have in-house at Fenway stepping up, coming together, and it's a leadership of Alex Bregman. Jen McCaffrey of The Athletic put out that piece Friday of what Alex Bregman, the coaches, meant. And the quotes you're hearing come out, the one that I put in my notes that jumped out at me from Ceddanne Rafaela, every time he comes to talk to me, I just go do what he says and something good happens. Jarren Duran saying, when he talks, it's like when you're at the movies, you tell everyone to shush, Alex Bregman's talking. He is that voice in the clubhouse. He's that leader, even when he's not playing. And it's also with Alex Cora and Pete Fatsi, his hitting coach, them adapting and realizing we can't do group meetings anymore. We need to do individual because no one can hide. And we need to go up into the batter's box with a plan for each pitcher.
Sure.
And they've done that. Ceddanne Rafaela, since the start of June, has been one of the best bats in baseball and the best center fielder.
And the hottest.
That's part Alex Bregman.
Yeah.
That's part Alex Cora and them adapting. And what do we see? This team had 53 wins last year at the All-Star break. But you know what they didn't have? Alex Bregman, healthy Trevor Story, Garrett Crochet, Lucas Giolito, a Brian Bayo like this, Ceddanne Rafaela like this. That's 6 different contributors.
Yep.
They didn't have Carlos Narvaez night in and night out. They didn't have Roman Anthony as he's been clicking, and we'll see if the rookie can do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put all of that into him, though.
Yeah.
That is the difference between this team of last year with the same win total and this year. Yes, the first 6 wins came against the Nats and the Rockies, who are the 2 worst teams in baseball. The Rays were a real team, and they are rolling into the All-Star break.
Yeah, listen, you gave me a lot to unpack there, and we'll talk more trade deadline coming up. I want to go back to sort of the mentality of this team. You could tell they love each other, okay? And this is why you had to get Rafi out of here, because it's more we and not me. And Rafi was about Rafi. We understand that. It's well documented, okay? He's gone now, okay? That's behind us. We don't ever have to bring him up again.
Yeah.
But why he's gone is what we're seeing. This team is cohesive. This team is a unit. This is a band of brothers, and they play like it. They're fun. We talked about this during the win streak against those bad teams when it started, Rockies and Nationals. Like, yeah, okay, they're beating bad teams, but this is fun. And then they roll it right in the All-Star break against a decent Rays team. This team is having fun. I do not believe that was the case when they had someone who was about me in that clubhouse. After this streak, Trevor Story talked about this. He didn't like one question he was asked, but he handled it well. Take a look.
Like we've talked about, I think just the conviction and who we are as a team, I think we have more of an identity now. And we're starting to believe in that. I think we can win in different ways. I think we've shown over this 10-gamer. We can slug or we can win one-run games. We can steal bases. I think we're just embracing all of that, and playing good defense is always has to be a key part of that. And but I think it all starts with the pitching, and they've been lights out.
I know that you were hurt a lot for the last couple of years, and making your way back at this time of year. But why are you confident this team is not going to have the same second half slide that you guys did the last couple?
I mean, that's just in the past. We're feeling like I think that's been a big part of why we've been successful. We're in the moment. We're very present. Not worried about what we did yesterday. We got to show up today and win a game. And I think with that mindset, it's hard to live in the past or in the future. So I think that's a big part of our team and our identity. So I'm excited to start the second half, but first take a few days for sure.
Hey, George, that's a veteran leader, because you know You could see it.
Yeah,
You
he
want
was
to say,
like,
what the hell are
"Excuse
you
me, what?"
asking me that for? We don't have anything to do with that.
It's a good question in a way of, hey, we've seen the same win
We've seen-
total.
yes.
What gives you the confidence the team can hold it together this time?
Yes.
And he knows though, and he could have said, I wasn't healthy. We
Yeah.
didn't have Crochet. This is a different team.
They
He
are.
didn't love the question. Justifiable question though, because we haven't seen a playoff appearance since 2021.
Okay, let's talk about the second half of the season, and that'll bring us into the trade deadline. At Wrigley, then you go to Philly, then the Dodgers are here. That's your first 9 games
Yep.
out of the gate. I mentioned this earlier. 3 out of the top 5 teams in the National League, which is a gauntlet, by the way. You face them, okay? 2 of them on the road, and then, as I said, the Avengers, a.k.a. the Dodgers, come here to Fenway.
Then they got Twins, Astros twice,
Well,
the
let's
Royals,
focus
the
on the 9.
Padres.
Let's focus on the 9.
If we could focus on the 9, I mean, going through mid-August, it's basically a playoff series.
Well, this is why I say
after
let's
playoff
focus on
series.
the 9, because at the end of that, you're at the trade deadline.
Yes.
So
Fair.
I'm looking at this from a lens. This is why I'm going 9, because I'm looking at it from a lens of, if you can go against these heavyweights from the NL and continue to stay hot, I'm not saying they're going to sweep all these guys, right? We understand that. But if you can hold your own, I think you have to add. You have to buy at the deadline, which all of us feel like this team should do. But George, you take it away. If you go out there and you won 10 straight, let's say you lose 9 straight, well, then it's pretty obvious you need to sell. So probably the truth is going to be somewhere in between. What do you see in just the 9? What do you see in terms of looking into the future? Because at the end of the Dodgers series, you're right there for the trade deadline. So we're going to kind of know. I happen to think, as I ask you this, I happen to think they're going to stand toe-to-toe.
Yeah.
I think if you win a couple of these series, you're in good shape. Whether it's the Cubs at Wrigley or Philly or whatever, I don't know who, but if you can win a couple of these series, whether it's here against the Dodgers or on the road, I think you're in good shape. What you can't do if you're the Red Sox right now, you can't afford to go out here and get embarrassed.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. You can't get swept. You can't go on this long losing streak after building us up like this before the All-Star. You cannot come out of the All-Star break flat. You can't do it. And I don't think they will. I think they'll be in a position to be buyers at the deadline.
What I think is big is that, given the All-Star break, against the Cubs, it should be Giolito, Bayo, Crochet in some order, right? Most likely,
Giolito, Bayo, Crochet.
it should be
in that
Crochet
order.
on that Sunday
In that
game,
order.
right?
Yep.
But it allows that rotation to reset, and then you're going to have 2 of those 3 against the Dodgers as well.
Right.
So you get Giolito and Crochet, who have been absolute studs. Bayo's been nails as well against the Cubs. That gives you a chance to take 2 or 3. And then against the Dodgers on the other end, who their rotation has not been good, but we know what that lineup is, you get those 2 pitching again. What about this team? The way they've been rolling, the way they've been playing complete, the defense, they made the mistakes like in the Rocky series. You'd see some in the Nats. The Rays was locked in, clean, elite baseball, and at home. I think that was big.
Yes.
And they get the Dodgers at home. I
Right.
think that's significant. Fenway, what we saw with that crowd on Friday night, what we've seen with that crowd all weekend, that's the playoff type baseball you get when the Red Sox are playing meaningful baseball in late September and October, right? That's what's big for me, is that the rotation gets to reset. They'll have all 3 of those guys against the Cubs, 2 of 3 against the Dodgers, and the Dodgers series comes home. How can you not say they take 2 or 3 against the Cubs, 2 or 3 against the Phillies, which will be tough because they have a great pitching staff in the lineup, and they set themselves up for success against the Dodgers. I think that's what I like about this team. They've been swinging and hitting top to bottom. I mean, I talk about Rafaela, but over his last 10 games, 421 average, 1410 OPS, 5 home runs. Since June 1st, a 316 with a 1040, 04 OPS as well. Like, locked in. But it'll be Alex Bregman, more rest, and hopefully in there every day and closer to how effective he can be. It's all of this coming together. And then on top of that, it's a bullpen that did not allow earned run against the Rays and got to rest and now gets this break.
Sure.
It is also a closer in Aroldis Chapman and with Garrett Whitlock, high leverage guys that have been really in tune.
Yes.
That's where it comes together, and that's where you see this team making the steps. They need to add because they do need more. Because
Need some arms.
This is all about the postseason.
Yeah, you need some arms.
They're in the wild card. You need to add arms. You need to add another
I would
bat.
agree.
But they continue to be better and better.
What would you say to the people that say don't trade anyone because you'll mess up the juju of the team?
If it brings in a guy that's winning, you do that.
You have to do it.
This is a team that, yes, the juju's important.
Yeah.
You know who's important with that is an Alex Bregman. And if that guy, the leader that he is, if he has him locking in, then that's what matters. I know Willier, what he brings, what Ceddanne Rafaela brings, what Jaren Duran brings, and there's Roman Anthony hanging out there. Like
Yoshida.
all these guys bring something. Masataka Yoshida.
Yeah.
But if it's about winning, you make the right move. It's tough. I understand the juju on this, but also what's been the juju? Winning. If you're winning baseball, it's what matters.
Right. Well, also too, it's who. I think if you're talking about adding, which we are at the deadline, there are certain guys you can't trade in Alex Bregman. I know there's certain fans that say, well, you don't know his contract situation. You got to cross that bridge when it comes, because that's the one guy, as you said, leadership-wise, when you get to the postseason, you have to have a guy like that to help these young dudes. So I'm with you on that. All right, still to come here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. We'll switch gears and we'll get into what's trending in the world of sports and your group chat. That's what this show's about. Stay with us here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Remember, get the latest up-to-date live. We've got everything right here, 8 a.m. on Nesson, 9 a.m. on Nesson Nation, every Monday through Friday. Roll with us. Welcome back to Boston Has Entered the Chat. All right, George, time now to get into what's trending in the world of sports and your group chat. GB, did you see this? Jason Tatum reportedly has been actively recruiting Dame Lillard. This according to Gary Washburn
Love it, not
of the
surprised.
Boston Globe. How about this? What do you think, George?
I mean, they're boys.
Yeah.
Dame has comments that he is tight with Tatum. All the crap we give Dame from his IG live, where you got my boy Tatum and you're asking questions. That was also Jason Tatum like going tongue-in-cheek, like, we get it, bro. You don't want to come to Boston. Of course,
Right.
that was a few years ago. But this makes sense where Jason Tatum, like, let's load up.
Yeah.
Dame's out there. You get a closer. You get a killer. You get someone that can add something. In the postseason, that's what this would be gearing up for. You get the depth back, and it would also make money sense. What?
I agree with everything you
What?
said. Who's going to help you now?
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean?
Who's going to help you now? You don't have Tatum now.
So what, are they just going to be a lottery team?
Yes.
No.
They're
I'm
going to
not
be
cool
a
with
playing
that.
team in a weak East.
No.
But that's a
no.
reality.
Then
That's what you have to wrap your
That's
head
a
around
problem.
along with the Celtics fans. What's the problem?
What do you mean? The
You won
East
a ring.
sucks.
You won a ring.
No.
You are dealing with the second apron. And it's a weak East. You can still make the postseason.
That part.
But you don't have your best player.
Yes.
Brad Stevens said it. He said it himself. Well, here's the thing. The biggest acquisition, the biggest ad we'll get is Tatum getting out of the boot.
Which I get.
He won't
but
be out of
that's
the
not
boot
next
until
season.
2 seasons from now.
Exactly. So next season, I want to deal with it. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks, well, what are we doing next season? Is it really Luka Garza? Like, listen,
Yes.
in the weak East, if this team
Yeah.
doesn't make the playoffs, or in your scenario, is like a play-in team, that's not good enough. Then you should have tanked. You should trade Jaylen Brown.
No.
You should trade Derek White. You should try to get A.J. DeBonsis in the damn draft at number 1 next season to
You
go with
don't-
Tatum. You have to pick a lane. That's where I'm going.
And they
So-
are by when they get Tatum back and have Dame and still
That's
have
2
Jaylen Brown.
years.
That's fine. That's
Nah,
a lane. That's
I
a
get
rebuild
it.
2 years from now. So you'd rather tank
No,
and
well-
only have Tatum and Dame when Tatum's back.
Yes.
Than just deal with this season and have Brown, Tatum, White, Damian Lillard.
I'm
You
fine.
would rather tank and have just Tatum
That's
and Dame.
not what I'm saying I'd rather
said that.
do. I just don't want to gloss over and let this season be the season. No.
They're not, but they're not because they have Brown and White, but that is what it is.
Well, you got to add to it, and it's not Dame. That's my point. There's other players available. I guess where I'm going, there's other guys available who can help you now, okay? And
Without paying a tax?
Yes, and I don't think Dame, it's the least of the issues. Go get him in 2 years when he's healthy then. Why are you getting him now?
Because you lock him in now to the mid-level exception, you get him cheaper than when he's recovering and you can pay more.
I'd rather get a player who's
And you get him in-
physically available to play now at the mid-level exception
Get him in your
than Dame
building.
and Wade.
He is rehabbing here. He's getting acclimated to Boston.
Look, I tell you what.
You don't only add Dame. You can add more.
He leaves, and my gut says that you're right, that Dame's here in like 5
Horford's going to go to the Warriors.
Yep.
He's not retiring. He's going to the Warriors. He would
Yep.
have retired by now. Dame's going to become a Celtic.
I think you're right. I just think go get someone who can help you now. How about this? The Mavericks shut down Cooper Flagg for the rest of Summer League. So he just played 2 games, and I completely understand why. George, this weekend, I watched this game against the Spurs. It was unbelievable. So here's all the tweets here. He's hanging out. They're like, look, we've seen enough. He dropped 31 on the Spurs. George, I watched every minute of that game. Bro was playing defense. At the end of the game, I'm screaming. I'm like, why do they still have Cooper Flagg in this game?
And that's why they shut him down.
That's why they shut him down. The Mavericks were up big. He had, I think at that point, 25-ish. and he's trying to dunk on the entire roster of the Spurs Summer League team. I'm like, this guy's unreal. I saw defense, I saw intensity, I saw him trying to dunk on everybody. This dude, he's the truth. He's going to help the Mavericks this year, right now.
I mean, that's
ASAP Rocky.
and that's what they knew. He's going to be a starter. It'll be
Yes.
him, Kyrie, and Anthony Davis, all three of them together when they're all 100% healthy
Yes.
and at full strength. In a way, I respect the Mavericks of he's dunking on everyone. He was so locked in. It's like, let him cook. They knew that was his last game. So that's what it is. Give him a leash,
let him play.
get his confidence up, end it on the high note. And that's what we expect from a Cooper Flag. I also loved him watching the Celtics Summer League game. Part watching the Celtics, he grew up in Maine, but that's a kid that loves hoop. He loves being in the gym. He loves playing basketball. And to be great in the NBA, you have to love the game. The Mavs know what they got in him. They got a gem. That's why they did not move off the first round, number 1 overall pick. They never even thought about it.
Yeah.
It's really cool that what he's doing in Dallas. I'm excited to see what he does moving forward.
Well, listen, I just think the kid also, not to sound cliche, the kid makes winning plays.
Yes.
Like
he
it's
affects
Summer
the game
League.
without the ball in his hands.
Yes.
And he does it on both ends of the floor.
That's where I'm going. Because in Summer League, none of these, some guys are trying to make the roster. That's different. But a lot of these top picks are like, we're just playing. We don't care.
Yeah.
Cooper
He
Flag
cares.
was treating it like an NBA Finals.
You have to
game.
have that compete.
He has
that
it.
compete.
He has it in spades. All right, coming up here on Boston Has Entered the Chat, more loudmouth stuff from George and I. We'll argue over everything. Stay tuned. It's what we do on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Roll with us. We'll be back. Welcome back to Boston Has Entered the Chat. You know what, George? Let's go to the pitch, shall we?
Oh, my gosh. We're no Men's and Blazers, but we'll be talking some football shortly. I love it, man.
Let's do it. Hey, head coach of the Rhode Island Football Club, Khano Smith, joins us. Let's talk to him now. Coach, welcome, my friend. Thanks for getting up early and talking some football with us. Oh, I can't. Can you hear him, George? I can't hear Coach.
Now we got him.
You got
Coach,
him?
how you doing
Coach,
this morning?
you got us?
I'm good. How we doing?
All right.
Doing well, doing well.
Got a good
Appreciate you
voice,
taking the time
too.
waking up with us, my friend.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, Coach. So this is your second year coaching this club. I want a scouting report from you as a coach. I mean, are you feeling more comfortable in year 2? How do you feel like you're doing in terms of your evaluation of yourself?
As a team, I think, when you look at the standings, I don't think we are where we want to be, but I think you could say that about 90% of the teams in the league right now. It's so close, and it's small margins. We had a game this weekend. We lost 1-0 away to Indy 11, so I feel like everything's close. So we just need to push through that barrier and figure out how to win collectively again this year.
Now, over your last 5 matches, you won twice, you pulled 1 draw as well. What's led to that success you've seen over the recent stretch for your squad? I
would think consistency, and I think we need to do it more. I think the standard we set for ourselves last year, making it to the championship game, we want more, we want to do more, but everybody does, right? So it's a difficult league. It's tough. It's very competitive. It's not, like I said before, it's small margins. So we just need to continue to push through and break through that little barrier that we have.
Coach, one thing George and I always talk about on this show with all sports and all these teams is culture and identity. What is the identity of your team? What are you trying to build there? Like when we think about your club, what should come to mind? What is it? Defense? Is it scoring? Is it well balanced? Sort of, what are you trying to build there?
Yeah, good question. I think as a team, and we talk about a lot, what a Rhode Island FC player looks like, and that is someone that's aggressive, that plays with intensity, plays with speed. I think every soccer fan, soccer coach would tell you they would like to play attractive, free-flowing soccer, but realistically, that's not something that could happen every single game. So I think the things that you can always control is how your team is out of possession and how you look to defend and how you look to be aggressive and get in the opponent's face. I think the club, wherever the club is, needs to mirror their community. And, being in Rhode Island, and Rhode Islanders have a chip on their shoulder. They're salty sometimes, but in summer we have beautiful beaches, good food. So I think you need to have a good blend of all of that stuff.
Hey, that chip on their shoulder being salty. I mean, that's the Northeast. That leads to that aggression. So I love it that you point that out in your players. And, of course, anyone wants to catch the next 2 matches for your guys, the next 2 Saturdays, both at home, hosting Hartford. huge caps coming up for you. When you point out that aggression, building that community, I want to tap back into your time as a player. Over 150 appearances as a player, also 33 for you playing for Bermuda as well. Was that the type of player Khano Smith was back in the day as well, we would see on the pitch?
Yeah, I think sometimes, I definitely had speed and used my speed. I think, you go back and evaluate your career as I don't know if I would have liked coaching myself sometimes, to be honest. I think I've grown a lot as a person and as a coach. So it's interesting to see some of the interesting character traits that your players would share with you and some of the things that you don't like and you probably wouldn't like about yourself, but the things that you do like about yourself. So that's an interesting self-reflection for sure.
Does that ever happen to you? You may be getting on a guy and maybe ripping into him, you go, he plays like me. I feel like I'm talking to my younger self, which maybe has you ease up as a coach and go, I like that competitive spirit.
Yeah, look, they're all different, right? We're all human beings, so I think you need to figure out what makes them all click and what makes them all, what can help you get the best out of them. So and you try to give them your life experiences and be like, listen, this situation, I have been there before, and I'm telling you, this is what you need to do. But, sometimes they're like your kids too, and like you need to let them go through it and experience it on their own for them to learn.
Okay, let's talk about your kids. I mean, we hear about you, the player. We have a glimpse into that. Tell me about the guys now. There's members of our audience just watching this interview for the first time. They're going to go check you out now. Who are some players we need to watch? Who are some players we need to keep our eyes on that jump out on your club, Coach?
Yeah, I think, when you're trying to draw people to come and watch your sport and watch your team and watch soccer, you need to talk about attacking players. So I think, you need to start. You can probably start with one of our player. He was our club player of the year last year, Noah Fusan. He's an incredible kid. He's from California. He's got that energy about him. He's just a free-flowing spirit, loves everybody, makes everybody laugh. He talks to everybody. So I think he's certainly a fan favorite. We have another attacker, J.J. Williams, who's more powerful, more speed, more aggression, great in the air, 6'4", big frame. So he's another one that I think fans really enjoy. Amos Shapiro-Thompson, he's a local kid. I coached him when I was a coach at the Revolution Academy. So he's from the area, so to speak. And he's, I think he's like the people's champ, so to speak. He's a little bit shorter, but he has energy and he has aggression and he just runs all over the place and he kicks people and people love watching him. So those three, I would say. I hate singling out guys and I hate leaving people out, but I think if you go around, if you ask fans, I would say certainly those three are probably top on a fan favorite list, so to speak.
Hey, Amos, for the short king and me, I always got to root on these shorter guys.
Short king.
Getting out there, making an impact on the pitch. You also have some great playmakers like Clay Holstad.
Yep.
Obviously, we know Dequan Rodriguez, what they bring as well. What does that scoring depth bring for your squad on the field as well?
Yeah, it's nice to be able to get goals from everywhere. It's not clicking like we would want right now, but, we're working towards that, and I think the challenges from last season versus this season has been interesting to compare because now I think this year we're getting everybody's best shot, especially when they come into the building. Like all the opponents and coaches and players, everybody's complimentary about the building and so I think we're getting 10% better from everybody. So, but yeah, guys like Clay, again, he's an elite athlete, he can run for days. He runs with speed. He can jump. I think if he wanted to be anything, he's a chemical engineer. That's what he studied in school. I think if he wanted to be a pro golfer, he probably could have been, he's just that type of person that's good at everything that they put their mind to.
A Renaissance man, if you will. I always say that about George. Another thing that we say here is a lot of teams have one singular leader. A lot of teams have multiple leaders. What does your club have? Is there one guy? Is it Clay? Is there a leader here? Or do you have a bunch of guys who kind of lead?
Yeah, I think, that's the challenge, I think, with this, especially this generation of athlete. Like, they're less vocal than I remember from being as a player. So I think we do leadership more by committee. We obviously have Koke, our goalkeeper. He's a club captain and leader and, first captain in club history. So, but then we have other guys that lead behind the scenes. We have Grant Stoneman. He's I call him the sheriff in the locker room. Like, he keeps everybody together and people get out of line. The late fines, I told him, you go see him. I don't find them. I always tell them, this is your team. This is your locker room. So you guys need to develop the behaviors that are acceptable to you and what you want to accept from your teammates. So we have a bunch of guys. Mark Ybarra, another one, he more like leads by example. He's just by his intensity, his work rate every day, how he shows up as a professional. So we have a little leadership group and guys that I lean on for things that we need to get the message across to the rest of the group.
And we know you spent plenty of time around New England playing for the Revs. You have 100 career appearances for them. How have you seen the game grow in New England and also in Rhode Island from when you were here with the Revolution to now leading Rhode Island FC?
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, when you look at it from a professional level, obviously when I was around, it was really only the Revs. But now you look in the New England region, right? You have us, you have Hartford, you have Portland Heart of Pines, and all three clubs in the USL Championship ecosystem have really good fan bases. We're all unique. Obviously, Hartford, that's who we're playing this weekend, so that will be a really good one. We've played Portland Heart of Pines twice for a League One team, which is the level below ours. Their fan base is incredible. And then you can go down to the USL2 level as well, like Vermont Green right up the road. They have an incredible fan base, and it's a bunch of USL2 teams around, in the Boston area as well, the greater Boston area. So it's grown so much, and it's, I think it would have benefited my time as a player. Now you can send players on loan and they can get game time at other places. So it's important for the development of the game, so to speak, in the region. But at the youth level, we don't get into that space too much. I mean, I think we'll enter there at some point. But just in Rhode Island, you obviously have Bayside and Providence College that is really outstanding institutions in their retrospective fields as well. So,
Coach, I'm actually glad you brought up fans because I want to stay there for a second. Talk to me about your fans. I mean, what has the Rhode Island, we talked about sort of the personality. There's a chip on the shoulder. There's a toughness there. But what have the fans meant to your club? How great have they been?
Yeah, for me, and I think for all of us, when you go back to COVID, it was a real barometer about what life could be like and gave us all a reality check. And for me, watching sports during that time, watching the NBA, watching the Premier League, watching many different sports where fans weren't around, it's not enjoyable. I stopped watching, So I think for me, fans and supporters are everything. We're nothing without them. But our fans in particular, I mean, they're loud, they're aggressive, they're in your face, they're yelling at the referees, they're beating the drums. So I think you got a really good insight into our fan base when they traveled throughout our playoff run last year. You had people driving down to Louisville, driving to Charleston, South Carolina. People flew to Colorado. And they were loud, and you knew they were there in each venue. And I think really in Louisville, the stadium ops people messed up because they put them in a corner of the stadium where the acoustics just traveled the entire building. So our fans were, for me, the loudest in the entire building. And we talk about the players take that energy and put it in your veins. They're there for you.
I love that. Yeah, I see what the attendance is for you guys at home.
Yep.
Just over 10,000 fans regularly. I like that. You say Louisville made a mistake. I thought they didn't give enough seats. No, they put your guys in the wrong spots and made it even louder than normal.
They slept on them, George. They didn't know they was bringing that kind of juice to it.
What does that passion mean to you as you lead this team? You guys said it. You made an appearance in the championship match last season, now fighting to get back to the postseason.
Yep.
What does that passion from the fans and support, home and away, mean to you as a coach as you're leading your squad?
Yeah, it's everything. Like I said, that's just why you do it, is to make people happy. Ultimately, I think you really zoom out, like we're in the entertainment business and we need to entertain and make people happy. And what I've always said, I will never promise you wins. I will never promise you championships, but I'll promise you a team that will work hard, that will be aggressive, that will be in the opponent's face and try to make their lives uncomfortable. Then, it's a league of 25 teams, so everybody wants to be successful and win and make the championship game. And, this club's been in the league much longer than us that haven't achieved what we achieved. So we can only try to compete and be successful at what we're good at, and that is being aggressive and being in your face and being intense and making things uncomfortable for the opponent.
Coach, I'm so glad you brought up the entertainment business because I want to go international here with you for a second, and I want you to solve a debate we've been having on this show. Okay, let me set the table for you, Coach. So my thing is this. Well, all right, so we saw USA lose in the Gold Cup to Mexico, right? But I came on TV the next day. I thought the refs were a mess in that game, and I think US's best player, Christian Pulisic, did not play. So I was encouraged with the fact that this team made the finals without him, okay? George says Pulisic should be with the team for all things. He shouldn't be resting. He's the best player. He should be out there.
Yep.
My thing is rest so you're ready for the World Cup. Can you settle this debate? Do you think Pulisic should have been with the team? Do you agree with George or do you agree with me? He's our best player. Give him rest. We need you for the World Cup. We don't care about the Gold Cup. You solve this for us, please, Coach.
Okay, so I don't want to be a guy that sits on the fence. I do believe in certain instances that two things can be right. I think, look, as an athlete, we can't tell him what his body needs, and if he says he needs rest, he needs rest. For me, ultimately, when you look at players around the world that go and play for the national team, it's millions of guys, or thousands, hundreds, whatever, that played for the national team this summer that were banged up and played. So, I mean, you look at the Portuguese guys, they win the Nations League and they're crying and they're in tears. So I do think it's culturally, it's a different level of passion of what it is around the world to play for your national team as it is maybe here in the United States. And that doesn't mean what we're doing in the United States is wrong, but it is what it is. Look at the Portuguese guys. Like Cristiano Ronaldo's 40. Like, you can't tell me he's not banged up, like he's playing for his national team. He's played professional soccer for 20 plus years. So in my humble opinion, I think he should have played, but I'm also not going to be the person that's going to sit on my soapbox and tell a guy that he feels like his body needs rest that he should play.
Spoken like a true player.
All right.
Spoken like a true leader.
All right.
I want him out there, but I agree with you. I don't know his body. None of us do.
Yeah.
He knows what he
Right.
needs. I like that you pull on the pride to play for your nation. I said it, to open up this interview, but you played over 30 matches for Bermuda, 2 of those being FIFA World Cup qualifiers as well. What was that experience like? And what was when you look back, what was most significant to you to play for a country that is so important to you and part of your fabric as a human being?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good question. I think, as a child growing up, you're going to watch your national team, no matter how big or small it is your country. Obviously, mine is small. So, yeah, for me to put on that jersey the first time, it was like achieving a lifetime goal. But also the first time I put on the Revolution jersey, it was also a goal of mine to be a professional player as a young kid. So, yeah, both were extremely rewarding. We all have hopes and dreams, and a saying that we say around here, and it's in the building everywhere, it's like you're never too small to dream. So just whatever your dream is, chase your dream and go for it.
That's actually a great quote.
Love that.
We need T-shirts with that on it, Coach. Come on now. We got to get that going.
Print the shirts.
Yeah, we could make that happen, Coach. I like that. I will let you go here. I just want to know, because we've talked to you about playing and obviously coaching, but was coaching always in the cards for you, in the back of your mind? Like, as a player, I don't know, if I had told you 10 years ago you'd be coaching now, would you have said, okay, cool, or you'd been like, no shot? Like, was that something that you always kind of thought about doing, or was it a calling? It kind of drew you in?
Yeah, I think for me it was at the time, right? You look at it now when players get done, there's so many other things they can do. They can jump on a show like this with you guys. They can do a podcast. They can do analytics for matches. There's so many tournaments and everything coming up in and around soccer in this country in the next year or so. But I think when I started getting into it and coaching, I obviously wanted to stay connected to the game. And I think for me, that was really the only avenue I saw for myself at the time. Now, looking at it, 10 years on, like, it's so many more different avenues that guys can go into. So I think I definitely knew I wanted to be connected to the game, and that was the one that was most accessible to me. But now I think it's so many different avenues for players that they can get into to stay connected to the game and make a good career, make a good living. So maybe it's different if stuff was available like 10 years ago. But I do enjoy coaching, but I also enjoy this sort of stuff. Like, I enjoy commenting and doing analytics on games. So I just want to be connected to the game in any form or fashion. So.
Hey, this is great news. I mean, listen, we have your games here on NESN, so we can have you on and talk your club anytime. Also, I don't know if you heard, Coach, there's a World Cup going on next year. They're playing games here in Boston. We'd love to have you back for that, my friend. I mean, come on, Coach. A nice little relationship is building here, huh?
Yeah, anytime. Just give me the call. I'm in. I love it.
My man, Khano,
Appreciate it, man.
you.
Thank
Best
you,
of luck
Coach.
the next 2 Saturdays.
Thank you.
Hey, catch July 26th. That match will be on NESN as well. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it, guys. Enjoyed it. Take care.
my man. Georgia just felt like an opportunity there for
I like
recruiting.
it.
He said he likes doing broadcasting too. There's a World Cup coming next year. Come on, coach.
Hey, he could talk ball. That's
I
for
like
sure.
him.
And I'm not saying I'm right on Pulisic, but he's not saying you're wrong either.
Yeah, so the battle rages on.
Insight and opinions. I like it.
Whatever.
Khano Smith, make sure to catch Rhode Island
Yes.
FC. Next 2 matches at home. They're surging. Second
That's right.
leg of the season underway.
That's right.
Big stretch for them to get back to the postseason.
Hey, by the way, training camp technically starts this weekend. Rookies report to camp for the Patriots. When we come back, we'll talk about who's going to have the biggest impact right here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Stay with us. Welcome back to Boston Has Entered the Chat here inside the friendly, cozy confines of the Salem 5 studio. Travis Thomas, George Balekji. All right, GB. Technically, training camp starts this weekend. Rookies report
Love
to
it.
camp. I think Tuesday is the first real deal, right?
Yeah, practice is July 23rd. Tuesday.
But I'll take
Who's counting?
Rookies reporting, that counts for me. Football
yeah.
season starts this weekend as far as I'm concerned. So as we talk about the rookies and we look at the landscape of the Patriots rookies,
Yeah.
who's going to have the biggest impact, you think?
I mean, it has to be Will Campbell. The offensive line makes or breaks this. He's the number 3 overall pick. He has to play left tackle, and he has to be an outlier given a shorter wingspan or shorter arm length.
Sure.
But it comes down to, can you block, protect Drake May, and open up running lanes for Ramondre Stevenson? Because Drake May had no protection,
Right.
and he had all those turnovers. Ramondre Stevenson had no room to work with, and he had all those turnovers himself.
Right.
This is an offense that is predicated on running the ball, and it'll open everything else up around it. Just because your best player is your quarterback doesn't mean you have to chuck it 40 times. And just because your best player is your quarterback doesn't mean you can sleep on the offensive line. The defensive lines in this division and in the NFL, and on their schedule especially, are way too good for them not to have a good offensive line. It's a number 3 overall pick billing. It's a position he plays where he's going to be slotted in as a starting left tackle unless he proves the Patriots otherwise
The odds
and
are
gets moved
against
inside.
him.
He has to have the biggest impact on this team, and it'll be for better or for worse.
I have a bias against offensive line.
I know you do.
You know how I know now.
But you've
I
come
own
around,
it. Now I own it.
And I've taught you.
I know you
that
have.
it matters.
But I still have a bias, and here's how I know. This will make you laugh, but it won't shock you. I did a power rankings.
I thought you were going to say personality
No,
test.
I did a power rankings of rookies that I want to see, okay, for the Patriots. Will Campbell's number 3.
Of course.
And listen, this is power rankings based off who I want to see. If we're being honest and it's based on impact, which is a question I asked you, then it is Will Campbell. That's the only answer. Okay? I get the importance of offensive line. I also get that last season for the Patriots, offensive line play was literally rock bottom. Like, you can't get any worse. So I understand where you're coming from, but I don't want to see no damn offensive lineman, okay? Like, in fact, the less news I hear about Will Campbell during training camp and preseason is good news. It means he's not giving up stacks, right? He's not a turnstile. It means he's doing his thing. If I don't hear Will Campbell's name all training camp, all preseason, he's doing great, okay? Where I'm going here on my power rankings, assuming he signs a contract, which still hasn't happened, Travion Henderson, number 1. He is the guy that I'm looking for the most, and I'm looking for to make a big impact with this team. I told you from draft night, I think that's going to be the kid that ends up being the starting running back and getting the bulk of the carries over Ramondre Stevenson. So I want to see him make me a genius. I want to see him come out, be explosive during camp, show flashes during preseason where I could say, yep, that's the guy. My gut is they're going to start the season running it by committee. I think Ramondre's going to get carries. Travion's going to get carries. It's just going to be a committee. But in the end, I think Travion Henderson has an opportunity to become the bell cow. That's what I'm looking to see, impact-wise.
And he doesn't have that impact without a Will Campbell, Morgan Moses. We'll see who's at center. It could be Jared Wilson. They paid for Gray Bradbury. He's the vet. It could be him.
point.
But just think about it like this. Max Crosby. Should be TJ Watt. Ed Oliver. Myles Garrett. Jalen Walker, right? We'll see Quinnen Williams. Could be Trey Hendrickson.
Gosh.
Should be Brian Burns and Abdul Carter. Those are the defensive lines they're going to be facing. Those are the edge rushers they're going to be facing. This offensive line has to be good. And if the offensive line is good, we'll have Travion Henderson hitting home runs.
Good.
We'll have Kyle Williams making plays down the field.
Bro.
And then we'll see Braden Swinson, another rookie, an edge rusher, someone I'm watching for.
Sure.
What is his pitch count like? What is his impact like? What's his role? What does he bring as a second line type edge rusher? Behind a Harold Landry, behind a Keon White. What does a Braden Swinson bring? And if this offensive line's operating, that means Swinson can pin his ears back and get after the quarterback because he's a pass rusher first before he's an every down type of defensive lineman. And that's what it comes down to. These rookies all have significant roles, whether they're starters or not.
Yes.
Jared Wilson, if he's not the starting center, he's also in play to be the starting left guard.
Yeah.
We don't know if Cole Strange will be healthy.
Yeah.
We don't know if Layden Robinson will work in Josh McDaniels' system.
Sure.
But Jared Wilson, as he's been pitched by scouts, is a tight end in the center's body, and that means the athleticism that he has. Doesn't mean anything wrong with his blocking, but also high IQ.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot thrown on these rookies. They have to be put in spots to succeed, and I think between Mike Vrabel, of course, but Josh McDaniels and Terrell Williams and the support staff behind those coordinators, I think they will.
Bro, your expectations are higher than mine. You said good offensive line. That would be excellent. If
I
it
would
gets
take
to that.
average. Good
Me
is
too.
average.
That's where I'm going.
Good is average.
I want a varsity offensive line because last season was JV.
It was freshman, man.
So I gave you my power rankings. I said Travion 1, Will Campbell 3. I got to give you Deuce, Kyle Williams.
There you go.
Listen.
He
There
could
is a
fit-
playmaker needed on the outside.
And
Can
he
he
can
fit
be
the
that
bill?
guy.
Can he be the guy?
He's bigger than what he's listed at. Like, he looks bigger in person. The way he attacks the ball at the high point, too,
Yes.
when it's in the air.
Yes.
Like, that's not, like, good route runner, good footwork, smart player that understands how to get open versus zone or man. Can be a short yardage type of receiver, catch a ball and make a play in space or be down the field. And is good over the middle where Drake May loves to throw. Like, this is a guy that'll fit what Josh Downs was to him in college, I'll be
Sure.
Kyle Williams in the NFL. But when it comes to going up and getting the ball, that's where Kyle Williams really surprises me. And that's where I see him just being a ball player. And we saw the videos, we saw the photos. It was Stephon Diggs, Kendrick Bourne, it was Kyle Williams, it was
Yes.
Hunter Henry with Josh Dobbs and Ramondre Stevenson and Drake May all working out together.
Yep.
But that is the mentorship of Stephon Diggs. There's a video of him. He goes, I'm ready to give him my whole toolbox. I want to teach him everything. That's a mentorship. If Stephon Diggs, some of his savviness on the field, his playmaking rubs off on Kyle Williams, that's a good thing. On the field.
Yeah.
If it's stuff on the field.
Yeah,
Rubs off.
on the field. I'd like that you emphasize that. By the way, honorable mention here. I know he wasn't drafted, but he is a rookie. Efton Chisholm. Like, can this guy live up to all the offseason hype we've been seeing and do anything on this team? Make the roster.
Is he even a practice squad
That's
guy?
right.
That's significant for him.
That's right.
He doesn't, I understand the expectations. He doesn't have to be a Pro Bowler right
That's
away.
right. That's right.
It took Julian Edelman a while to become that guy.
Yes.
Danny Amendola was a practice squatter when he came into the league.
Yep.
Chris Hogan bounced around. Does he at least make the practice squad and develop, and down the road he can be someone of impact? And this too, it's not a running back, but it's in special teams. Lane Larison, how does he look as a gunner?
Absolutely.
How does he look as a returner? Because every punt or kick return, that is seen as a set of downs. Can you get around 10 yards? Can you go from 1st and 10 to 2nd and short? That's a reality of how special teamers look at those catches and those plays. You have a play. Can it be positive? Let's see if he can do that. Can he be successful? I'm excited to see Lane Larison, too.
Thanks for rolling with us here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. The party doesn't stop, though. We're on Nesson Nation as well, so hop on over and roll with us. And remember this, get the latest up-to-date live. We've got Boston Sports headlines along with your daily dose of trending sports and social topics every weekday right here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. 8 a.m. on Nesson, 9 a.m. on Nesson Nation.